Did Hillary Clinton fund the Steele dossier or not?
I believe she picked it up from someone else.
Go ahead.
Holy shit! What a bunch of philosophical prattling that I don't deal with on a normal basis. Let's
Brewmaster
talk about
comes
this.
in.
What the fuck are we talking about here?
down the
You got the
door.
wrong guy if you're looking for some deep philosophical thinker. One, it's not vibes. Like, I have plenty of evidence, which I could talk for hours and hours, that shows that what Paul calls the deep state actually has engaged in full frontal attack against any opposition to them that they see as a potential outsider, including Donald Trump. So it's not just a vibe. Sitch, do you think it's a vibe that the FBI illegally spied on Trump's team, accusing him of trying to get disinformation from Russians, and in doing so hid the fact that they were actually using disinformation that was paid for by Hillary Clinton's team that paid a suspected Russian spy? Is that just a vibe, or did that happen?
So the Russian thing actually, I feel like proves my point, not your point, because you have a situation where, yes, the FBI did illegally re-up the spying warrant on certain people in the Trump campaign to continue the investigation, but at the same token, when the Russiagate investigation came out, they said we couldn't find any there. There was lots of weird smoke, but we couldn't find anything definitive. Trump's innocent of being a Russian plant. And if there really was this magical, all-encompassing deep state, why the fuck would they have ever said that? They would have said, no, he was a Russian spy. We haven't looked at all this evidence. They were just concocting something.
The reason is this, because they were looking for an excuse to be able, just like with Watergate. What was Watergate really about? Well, it was some bumbling fools. Now, arguably, this was sort of a conspiracy in its own right, but the face value story that we're told is a bunch of bumbling fools on the behalf of Nixon's campaign were trying to find information on their opponents. What this was it allowed the FBI through the two-hop rule to basically spy on Trump and his entire campaign. And the fact that
Don't bring up Watergate. There's no conspiracy about Watergate.
Listen, I'm okay. What I'm saying is it's fallacious reasoning on your part to say, well, if they were any sort of corrupt, they would have been more corrupt and went further. No, it would have been harder for them to just out of whole cloth say, oh, and by the way, we've just made up that Trump actually had these contacts with Russia. What they were more likely to do is to use this as an excuse to spy on him and his team, then try to prosecute people for unrelated crimes, then try to get them to flip on Trump so that they could have a news cycle or potential crimes that Trump committed, whether it be with Russia or with elsewise. The fact that they illegally spied on Trump for a crime, allegedly a crime or a problem that they knew Hillary Clinton had committed, that she actually colluded with a suspected Russian spy to get disinformation, and not only not investigate Hillary Clinton, but use that collusion with the suspected Russian spy to get warrants to spy on Trump's team, shows just how corrupt this deep state was. And that's 10 times worse, done at the behest of the establishment, than anything Trump's accused of doing with alternate electors. That's one of many examples.
Okay. So Rob, there was so much.
Hold on, Sitch. Can I? Okay. Unless you really want to respond to this.
Well, I just want to. It is. I guess it's. I know we're getting the weeds, but it's important because the amount of smoke, the amount of crazy things that preceded the Russian investigation were overwhelming. You had Donald Trump, gets Paul Manafort, a guy who was working for the former president of Ukraine who ran away to Russia because he was essentially, running to Putin's protection. He gets him to be his campaign manager. He gets some random guy, Carter Page, that no one ever really heard of, that the Russians literally tried to transform into a Russian agent. You had someone else on the Trump team who knew that Hillary's emails were hacked by the Russians like a month before anyone hacked them. You had you had what's his name, the brother of the guy who runs that military operation, the Blackwatch. What's the name of that?
PricewaterhouseCoopers. Okay, hold on, because what's going to happen here? Hold on.
Betsy, wait, let me just finish it, and then you go. Betsy DeVos's brother has a secret meeting that even the report showed had a secret meeting that he lied to Congress about, where he had a Russian contact to try to establish a backdoor communication with Trump. So no, I don't like this. I feel like this is a lot of after the fact work. There was so much smoke there that they could have if they really were this evil deep state that was that we're all liars and we're just trying to destroy Donald Trump, they could have very easily done it through the Russian investigation. They wouldn't have cleared him from it.
Okay, stop. Hold on. The enlightened centrist has come to relieve the Pandarian brewmaster. Okay? He has made the initial assault. Yes, the Russiagate hoax is a hoax, indisputably. But hold on, Sitch. You say all this smoke and shit. Did Hillary Clinton fund the Steele dossier or not?
I believe she she picked it up from someone else who initially started it.
That's not.
I'm sorry. Fusion GPS was what the Rob, back me up. Fusion
Yes.
GPS was her law firm or some the law firm she was involved in, and they essentially knowingly fabricated the Steele dossier. Correct?
No. No,
Rob?
wait, that's not true. Wait. You know, like half of the things in Steele dossier were true, right?
It's not
That's
true.
not true.
There were things that were said in the Steele dossier. Like, for example, here's some of the things Sitch is talking about that are true. There's a person named Donald Trump. Yes, the Steele dossier said that, and that is true. So I guess we could say some of the things. No, much of what was said in the Steele dossier that was considered true was things that were publicly reported on beforehand. What happened was, like, just let me argue with Sitch here for a minute on this. First off, just because there's smoke doesn't justify the illegality. And you, as someone who said
I
earlier,
never said that. When did I say there was? When did I say it justified anything?
you just said, well, first off, as a defense to the obvious illegal behavior of the FBI that was supported by the Democrats, you said, well, there was a lot of smoke. When you're
I
the
never
person
said that.
previous,
I
yes,
never
you did.
said that.
Okay,
No,
then
I
why
did-
did you bring it? So then,
Why
okay,
did
let me
they-
finish. Let me
What was my
finish.
point?
Happens
Okay,
like-
okay, let me.
What was
let me,
my point?
Everyone go.
What was my point? My point was I brought this up to say that yes, you're correct. The FBI lied about to re-up the investigation, but if they were really the evil
Why the
deep
but?
state-
Why the but? Why the but, Sitch? But yes, the FBI committed a crime, but there was smoke. Why did you say that, Sitch? Go ahead and tell us.
Okay, I was literally in the middle of doing it. When
Well, you felt
not.
the need to interrupt
This
me
is
as to
not.
you and Paul had talked for a lot,
because
so
you
I
were
feel that I'll
accusing
get
me of something I didn't say.
This is
Okay,
not blunt rotation behavior.
I know
Okay?
it's not.
At
As
this
my
point, we should
entire
be too
point.
high to be yelling at anyone.
My entire point with the Russiagate investigation is that I said, yes, the FBI lied in order to re-up the warrants and all that stuff. But you and Paul were making a different point. You were making a point that the deep state is this evil, evil thing that's trying to destroy Donald Trump through any means possible. And I said, if that's the case, why didn't they ally with the Russiagate? Why didn't they say there's a Russia connection? And you said it wasn't possible. So I responded by saying, what do you mean it wasn't possible? Look at all this smoke. They could have very easily painted all this smoke to show that there was a connection. That's why I brought it up. I've never, it's not a fallacious point. I've never in my entire fucking YouTube career ever said that the FBI was justified in lying to re-up the warrants. I've never fucking said that.
It's
I've
a
always said
fallacious
that
point.
whatever the Russiagate investigation showed, I would read the report and stand by it, the results, and that's exactly what I did. Okay.
It's
So
fallacious.
I don't. Well, wait. The reason I'm getting mad is because I don't appreciate, even though we had a nice conversation, that you're impugning my character when you make that accusation. Okay.
Okay, first off, as last time I debated you, if you want to get into impugning character, you seem to get on this higher horse and talk about this stuff. I don't think what I said of you having this big butt talking about that, an obvious interpretation of what you were discussing was when we were talking about the illegality and how there was far more smoke with Hillary Clinton's team where they had 100% definitive proof that she was working with a suspected Russian spy but chose not to investigate her for the very crime that they spent all this time investigating Trump. That a reasonable interpretation of what you were saying was you were trying to make excuses for why they did these things. You've clarified as such, and now you get on your high horse and cry like you were wont to do last time. Is Adam going to falsely say that I called you a liar again, and you guys are going to pout and moan that you don't want to talk to me again because of that? I'm tired of this sort of bullshit high horse behavior. Secondly, Paul, I'm just going to leave if you don't let me finish my point. This is ridiculous. It's
because I don't want to turn this stream into some fucking drama thing. So
Let him finish his point. Go ahead, Rob.
I don't like this drama shit. It's annoying. It's not funny. I think it's the most cancerous thing on this entire fucking platform.
Yeah, Paul, maybe we'll just say final thoughts, because one, I don't really understand what the utility of this is with sort of the way that it's being interrupted. I think it would be better if it was just Sitch.
Perhaps.
And the point I have that I was making there is, seems like Sitches want to, in the conversation I had with them, get on this moral high horse. How dare you? I thought we're just having a conversation. How dare you do this and get on that? It's like it's starting to become par for the course. Like, and I just find it tiresome anyways. So if we just want to finish up with final thoughts, cool by me.
So. We're coming up on an hour and a half. We can wrap this up here.
Okay, but I want to respond to this. Okay,
Go
there's
ahead.
a common thing that happened. I don't know how to word this without it coming off like horrible. All right, I was angry, and I was just simply explaining why I was angry. You took it in a very emotional, responsive way due to a past conversation that we had like 2 years ago. All right, that was not my intention. That was not anything. Had nothing to do with the conversation whatsoever. You mischaracterized my position. I was saying, no, you're wrong, and I explained my position. Now you can just say, oh, okay, I'm sorry, I mischaracterized your position. I apologize, and we can move on. That's it. Like they're just getting ultra defensive about it and attacking me and trying to bring up a conversation from 2 years ago to try to beat me over Adam in the head with. It's not productive. It doesn't do anything.
I don't think it's productive for you to get on a high horse with this "how dare you" attitude. If you'd say, well, wait, if you let me explain, this is what I was doing. You interrupted me and were like, no, and felt the need to be like, you're mischaracterizing me in what I thought was a very aggressive way. I don't really care, and I'm not like someone who's very upset. I'm just saying this seems to be a pattern where you tend to get very aggressive if you think someone's misrepresenting you or saying that you're biased or some sort of thing like that. It just seems to be a pattern. All I was trying to do when I said, okay, you clarified it was fallacious, you keep saying it's not fallacious, it's not. Yes, what's fallacious is the type of argument that says that there cannot be corruption because if there ever was corruption, there would have been further corruption. So therefore, the FBI couldn't be corrupt in their want to spy on Donald Trump and his team illegally. Their motivation couldn't have been corrupt intent because if it was, they would have done worse. They would have actually framed him even further. That is a fallacious argument. And I think that a reasonable, objective person could see that if your argument you're making that, well, there was a lot of smoke, if that smoke somehow justifies what you're saying is, well, it wasn't corrupt, if there was so much smoke that it was illegal, but their motivation wasn't some evil thing because they're corrupt and wanted to get Trump, then why wouldn't have they, based on that same sort of smoke, except far more smoke, in the case of Hillary Clinton, where they had definitive proof that she actually was colluding with suspected Russian spies, why was there zero investigation into her?